Welcome to Breakup Cheater, where real stories meet raw emotion. Here we dive into betrayals, shocking twists, and moments that change lives forever. If you think you're ready to face the truth, stay close because every story leaves a mark. Imagine this. You give 12 years of your life to someone. You build a home, share every dream, every Sunday morning coffee, only for them to look you in the eye and say, they need to feel alive again. This isn't just a story about betrayal. It's about what happens when the person you underestimated finally decides to stop playing the fool and starts playing for keeps. She said she needed to feel alive again. She didn't expect me to take her at her word. The crash of shattering glass ripped through the quiet, a sharp sound that seemed to echo inside Nathan Cole's chest. Whiskey dripped down his knuckles as he gripped the tumbler too tightly. Across the kitchen counter, divorce papers lay scattered, their presence heavier than any object had a right to be. Once, this home had been a sanctuary, 12 years of shared memories with his wife Melissa. Now, the same walls felt like they were closing in, each shadow whispering accusations of betrayal. 2 nights earlier, Melissa had stood in that same doorway, arms folded, her tone casual, almost bored. "I'm going on a date, Nate," she had said, the word date rolling off her tongue as if she were talking about running to the grocery store. Nathan had laughed then. It wasn't joy but disbelief, a hollow, brittle sound. "A date? With who? Or should I ask, how many?" "His name is Evan," she replied flatly. "He's a coworker. I need this. I need to feel alive again." Alive. The word had hit him harder than a fist. Hadn't the life they built together been enough? The mortgage they paid side by side, the weekend hikes, the coffee in the sunlit kitchen every Sunday morning. Hadn't that been life? Or had it all been a carefully painted facade? "Do you hear yourself, Melissa?" he asked, voice trembling with controlled rage. "You're married. You made vows. Do they mean nothing to you?" She only shrugged, a small, dismissive gesture that cut deeper than shouting ever could. "I've given you everything, Nate. It's my turn to have something for myself." That was when he stopped arguing. Not because he agreed, but because he understood. She'd already lit the match and dropped it on the bridge between them. Fighting her would be like screaming into a storm. So instead, he gave her one final warning. His voice cold enough to frost glass. "Do what you want, Melissa. But remember, actions have consequences." The next morning Nathan woke early. The grief was still there, but it was buried under something harder, colder. This wasn't going to be just heartbreak. This was going to be war. He started with himself, a sharp haircut, a tailored navy blazer. His old sedan washed until it gleamed. By the time Melissa descended the stairs in a black dress that tried too hard to look effortless, Nathan was ready. "Going somewhere?" he asked without looking up from his keys. She frowned, expecting jealousy, maybe even begging. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means," Nathan said with a thin smile, "you enjoy your date. And remember, consequences." He didn't wait for a reply. That night, while she was out, Nathan met Rachel, a longtime coworker whose warmth had been a steady, quiet comfort in the background of his life. Over wine, he laughed for the first time in weeks. But beneath the surface of that laughter was a steel-edged resolve. Melissa wasn't just going to lose him. She was going to feel every brick of the life she'd torn down crash on top of her. When Melissa returned late, Nathan was in the living room, calmly sipping scotch. "How was your date?" he asked without looking up. She hesitated. "Nate, I don't care," he cut in, setting the glass down with a sharp clink. "But you will. Soon." By sunrise, she found an empty bed. On the kitchen counter sat an envelope with divorce papers and a note. "Actions have consequences. Enjoy your freedom." Freedom, however, wasn't what she found. Nathan walked into his lawyer Lucas's office carrying a thick manila folder. Phone records, financial statements, and photographs. Enough to prove everything without warning her how deep he'd dug. "She spent 12 years pretending," Nathan told Lucas, voice low. I want her to see exactly what she threw away. Lucas smiled faintly. Then we don't just end the marriage. We take everything. Melissa's unraveling began at work. Her boss called her in to discuss her position, and there in the lobby was Nathan, sitting beside a private investigator. She opened the folder he handed her and froze. Pictures of her and Evan. Dates, times, lies documented in cold detail. This is a violation of company policy, her boss said. You're done here. By the time she got home, the locks had been changed. Her belongings were in storage. A neighbor handed her the key with another note. This house is no longer yours. Melissa thought Evan would be her safe landing. But soon he stopped answering her calls. Nathan's investigator had paid him a visit too, and Evan's reputation crumbled. His girlfriend left him. His job prospects dried up. Within a month he left town. Melissa's world kept shrinking. Her savings were frozen in legal disputes. Friends avoided her. Eventually, she took a part-time job at a diner, enduring whispers from customers who recognized her as that woman. Months later, Nathan saw her again, in a grocery store parking lot, trying to start her rusted car. "This is my life now," she whispered when she saw him. "I deserve it, don't I?" "We all live with the choices we make," he said simply. "I'm sorry, Nate," she said, tears streaming. "I was selfish. Blind. I hope you find a way to move forward," Nathan replied, his voice calm. "But what we had, it's gone." He walked away without looking back. Nathan's life moved on and up. With Claire, his new partner, there was trust, laughter, and peace. One evening by the fireplace, Claire rested her head on his shoulder. "You're a good man, Nathan." He smiled faintly. "I had to fight to become one." And for the first time in years, he truly believed it. When trust shatters, it's never clean. The pieces cut both ways. And sometimes the person you thought you broke is the one who ends up stronger than ever. Remember, choices have consequences. And in Nathan's case, those consequences became the very thing that set him free. Thank you for joining us on Breakup Cheater. Remember, the world isn't always what it seems, and every choice has its shadow. Subscribe, hit the bell, and never miss a story that will make you question everything you thought you knew.